This video is about to get very surgical, so stay with me, all right? In the light of Lil Wayne releasing the Carter 6, it's probably gotten the worst reaction his albums have ever gotten. But I don't think we digging deep enough into the layers of what this actually exposes. What actually was exposed with the quality of this album, with the quality of the rapping, with the quality of the production. A lot of the lyrics that I heard from back in the day are aging very well. Some lyrics that I heard as recently as last year are aging very well. But it goes so much deeper. Why has Wayne been giving us lackluster projects for years? And why have people why have people pretended that that's not going on? You see what I'm saying? We're going to get very surgical in this one, and we're going to get down to the core of what I believe is truly going on with Lil Wayne and what happens with many artists in the industry. So first and foremost, this whole situation made me think about a specific Pusha T line that came out a few years ago. The song we about to talk about is Infrared off of Daytona, right? In one of the Infrared verses, the Good Music president addresses the famous financial dispute between Lil Wayne and Cash Money boss Birdman. Push raps, "Oh, now it's okay to kill a baby. Niggas looked at me like I really killed the baby. Salute Ross cause the message was pure. He see what I see when you see Wayne on tour. A flash without the fire. Another multi-platinum rapper trapped and can't retire. Niggas get exposed. I see the cracks and I'm the liar." And in other words, he's saying, I've been told y'all about Birdman basically taking advantage of Lil Wayne. I've been told y'all that. I've been told you it was a bad situation. And y'all hated me for that. But then Rick Ross came out and said it, and everybody had a different opinion. But the line that really stands out here is the flash without the fire. Another multi-platinum rapper trapped and can't retire. There are a bunch of people in the industry who are continuously working, touring, putting out album after album after album. And some people are really working hard. Some people have no choice. These bad contracts keep these artists trapped in a cycle of touring, making music and touring, even when they don't have it no more. Kanye was talking about this a while ago, talking about how he couldn't retire because he was trapped in his contract. This might be the same reality for Lil Wayne, and because of that, let's do a little deeper digging. So boom, Pusha goes on to say in Exodus 23, the infamous line, "You signed to one nigga that signed to another nigga that signed to three niggas." Now that's bad luck. Once again, exposing the fact that the biggest rap star at that point, or one of them, is in a terrible contract, making way more money for the corporation than you could imagine, but only getting a small piece of the pie. Speaking of that, that brings me to my next point. Birdman 100% groomed Lil Wayne, and we don't talk about this enough. In multiple aspects, even if we talking from a sexual standpoint, Birdman groomed Wayne. There's an interview with Wayne talking about how as a child, he was put in a situation by Birdman and arrested him where he had to mess with a girl who was older than him. Now, people don't see there's nothing wrong with that because Lil Wayne's a man and he's a boy, so people see it differently in society. But that's still wrong. It happens in the community too, the regular community. Doesn't make it right. And I bring that up because when we talk about power dynamics, right, and manipulating somebody, that plays a part. If you take control of that side of an individual, this is why they perpetuate this stuff through the music. You can corrupt this individual. You see what I'm saying? On top of this, he's also knowing his contracts. He's literally forming Lil Wayne into the thing that's gonna make him a money machine, right? Without thinking about all the effects that will happen to Lil Wayne when he's no longer usable. When you can't use him no more, who is Lil Wayne supposed to be when all he's ever been was a cash cow for you? You see what I'm saying? And it's messed up because then we go to the future after years and years and years and years of Wayne feeding Birdman's pockets and making him one of the biggest moguls in the industry. You see what I'm saying? Birdman, at the very moment he thought Wayne wasn't usable no more. This is supposed to be his son, right? But that's just power dynamics, by the way. But at the very moment he didn't think he could use him anymore, he tried to replace him with a replica. He tried to replace him with a replica by stopping Lil Wayne's album from coming out. I think it was the Carter 4 or was it the Carter 5? There was a Carter 5. He stopped, or the 6. He tried to do 6. He stopped him from putting the album out so that Young Thug could take over, bruh. Stabbed him in the back, and this led to a whole suit. That's when we get to what Pusha T was actually making his comments about. Rick Ross and Birdman. When all this news broke out into the public, Rick Ross didn't take no time to get in the booth and really display and say the issues that he had with what Birdman was doing to Lil Wayne, because nobody else was saying it besides Pusha T. But nobody else wanted to say, look, we see what you're doing to Wayne, and doing this to somebody who's done so much for the culture, been such a huge part of the culture, whether y'all think, however y'all feel about it. This is wrong. And this brings me back to the article. In a new interview with Billboard, Ross explained why he went in on Birdman and revealed he's aware of the theory that DJ Khaled's "they" is actually a very specific reference to one person in particular. You know, I just think it's so effed up, Ross told Billboard. Us seeing Lil Wayne's situation and suffering from that, I think we kind of all got used to it. I think the culture has accepted that Wayne would not put out another album. And that's not the way the game should be. That's not the way we designed this. That's not the way this is supposed to be. Notice everybody got an issue with censorship since way back then. This don't start with Drake. Censorship has been an issue within the community that the hip-hop community always stands for. I think there's certain names in hip-hop that continuously speak out when things like this take place. The real tragedy behind the situation, Ross told Billboard, is that it keeps creators from doing what they do best. They supposed to be in the building, flipping over desks in these offices, fighting to get money, not suing each other, fighting lawsuits, and everybody starving, not putting out music, not being creative, us not doing what we came here for. There's nothing more I hate than that. Us not doing what we came here for. And that's to express ourselves, is what Rick Ross is saying. It's crazy how this come full circle to what's going on today. Then in Idols Become Rivals, which is Rick Ross's diss to Birdman, he's talking about how he finally met people and realized that the watches was fake, and the glamour that they portrayed on the television was to allure people to the process of going through the industry. That's why they put all that stuff up there without giving people a piece for real. They don't give the artist a piece, but they trick everybody into thinking there is a piece so more people come to the industry and do the bidding. He then goes on to say that Birdman, I hope you got some remorse in your heart for Wayne to let him release his music and get out of this situation. You see what I'm saying? Which is something you're supposed to do when y'all claim y'all so close, and that's supposed to be your son. That son shit was only for power dynamics. I don't care about none of that. But then he goes on to say, yeah, this whole debacle, I stood there, so I'm part of the blame. He said, I can't believe this, homie. I still love you, but how the fuck you touch $1 billion and your whole team starving? You on an island. You came to my city. Boom, 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 boom. You see what I'm saying? The pain I see in my brother's eyes, FaceTime my nigga, he took that on the chin. So he talking about how Lil Wayne is being ragged around like a dog by these people. You see what I'm saying? And my whole point in this video is, how the hell are you supposed to produce at your highest level when you've been drained, when you've been manipulated, when you've been betrayed? Even when you turn around and put on artists like Drake, they do you dirty. You see what I'm saying? How is Wayne supposed to produce what he's supposed to produce when the industry is really taking advantage of this guy's, S.A.ing him? That's something I really want to say, but I'm not going to say it. So how is he supposed to produce what he's able to produce or what he's capable of producing when he got to focus on all this other stuff? You know, he's still trying to find a way to get back into the proper situation, which is why he sold all of the Cash Money stuff. You see what I'm saying? He's trying to get his situation back together. Imagine being in the industry for this long and it's all you know, and then everybody start looking away. Everybody stop paying attention. What now? What now? Main point being in this video, I think Lil Wayne's in that position where the music ain't about the music, it's about the business. And that's the problem in the industry in general. Artists aren't put there to create. You see what I'm saying? Because people are trying to take advantage, one up, all this different stuff. The Wayne we see on Carter 6 is the guy with flash without the fire. And Wayne's on tour as we speak. But thank y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Especially if you're new, especially if you've been watching and you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, because the content is going to keep getting better. There's so much to talk about. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Take care.